Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get More Clients. I'm your host, Lynn Whitback. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire me to ignite winning sales because most are chasing down leads, lack client retention, conversion, and profit. The mission of this show is to educate, inspire, and motivate women around the world to build a robust sales strategy to get more clients because most can't get more clients and haven't a clue why. You will learn to transform thinking to the client's perspective, eliminate the lengthy, chaotic sales cycle to ignite your sales and unleash lasting profits. You will also have an opportunity to connect with me further to see how I can support you beyond today. Now, last week, we discussed using inspiring value statements to generate quality leads and sales. Let's go over a brief recap since value statements fill gaps and provide bridges within the client journey. Value statements should be used in every sales and marketing material. My recommendation is to include them in every planned sales communication. The key is to do the research, gather your data, which enables you to answer the client's why with a balanced equation. Because with every benefit, there is a shadow side that needs to be addressed. That's a balanced equation. Many decision makers will not move forward without proven benefits and success stories. A value statement delivers this, and I'm going to succinctly, what a word, succinctly at a glance. The data, facts, and figures that you pull in for your value statements serve another important purpose. They allow you to expand your business within an organization or with connections, and they also enable you to protect your existing business. So let's go through this scenario. In a B2B environment, you use value statements as an introduction to other departments or divisions to grow your sales through account penetration. In both B2B and B2C, they are excellent tools in your referral process. And just as a reminder, B2B is business to business, B2C, business to consumer. Now, there is another important benefit. If you get a call Monday morning from your client with, "I need to talk with you today to justify your program. The budget axe has fallen and we have to cut half of our expenses." This happened to me. It was a great opportunity for me and my firm to keep our business. Because of the relationship I had built, I was given the opportunity and the chance to justify and save our program. Honestly, it's more common that you simply fade away from your client's list of preferred suppliers and partners, or fade away from your direct relationship as an entrepreneur. Continuously gathering facts and figures for value statements allowed me to rapidly respond in that moment, and I kept the program alive. This could be the progress that they had made, the milestones that had been achieved, whether that's in a business to business relationship or you're dealing directly with the client as an entrepreneur. Maybe it's a one-on-one coaching. You are delivering value, you are moving them forward. Make note of those milestones and those achievements that are achieved. Value statements should be used in every sales and marketing material. I've said that before, and I'm going to say it again and again. You must include them in every planned sales communication. So out of the box examples, or you can use value statements in your testimonials. and in your LinkedIn profiles. My challenge for all of you is to create your value statements and brainstorm on the places they can be incorporated, and then do it. As Eleanor Roosevelt said, it takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. With that in mind, I follow the 80-20 rule for planning and preparation. If you don't know what that rule is, it means that I spend 80% of my time planning and preparing so that I can then execute flawlessly. So what happens is that flawless execution, and I want to say it may not be flawless, but it goes very smoothly, because after all, perfection is overrated. But what that results in is 20% effort for 80% new clients, new retention, to be able to make sure that I'm delivering that value. So this is what we're going to talk about today. We are going to learn how to create a delightful client experience and that journey with process mapping. From my own experience, I know that the time invested in your communication plan is going to deliver 80% of your outcomes. All right, that 80-20 rule. By the end of today's show, you will know how to outline your processes for each client entry point, build and leverage templates for your outreach and follow-up, save yourself time, and avoid costly mistakes. All of this planning, this preparation, it helps you think to speak. You think to speak. You've thought it through. You know what to say, enabling you to deliver a delightful client journey experience from the beginning and at each stop along the way. Let's start with outlining your process. I recommend outlining your processes for each client entry point. So an example of an entry point, that's the spark. That's that initial awareness and connection that you make. It could be at a connection that you make after attending an in-person or a virtual event. That's that spark, that opportunity that you met with them. Another is an organic Google search that results in your new connection opting in on your website. What about answering a question posted in one of your groups and initiating a conversation? This is a really great tactic, is to look for questions that specifically speak to things that you can answer and showcase your knowledge and expertise while delivering value to help someone move forward, and then starting that organic conversation. An alternate entry point would be someone providing their email address during your website, or it could be a masterclass that you have on there, or it could be a workshop that you're holding and where you're delivering all that incredible value, and they receive bonus materials when they provide that email address. You can even do that online with a networking event or any kind of event that you're doing and holding a workshop, as I said. So there are so many examples of this. Of how you can really think about the spark and the way that you connect with people. I want you to really let your mind wander and think about all the different ways that you form those connections. Working through this process, I've already covered developing your opening statements in the previous episodes that we talked about. And you want to use these in your communication plan, and then create your follow-up in your LinkedIn and in your email and in phone calls in the form of scripts. Now, you're not going to read from those scripts word for word, but by planning them and planning those processes, then once again, you can think to speak because you're ready to go. They are your go-to templates, and you will customize them on the fly to move your relationship forward. And it makes your outreach fast and easy when you've planned and prepared ahead. You may already have a great automated process that's been built, but many entrepreneurs and companies miss the opportunity to welcome their new prospect and deliver extra value. So from that initial spark, especially when they opt in, this is a critical gap in your client journey. They need to feel welcomed and valued with clear expectations established. So we're going to be going over everything that's involved in a welcome sequence in a future episode, because this is so vitally important that you build this into your process. Because building out your plan up front, it's going to save you so much time. And on that back end, my goodness, so much effort and that energy. And it's also going to help you avoid costly mistakes. So let's create that delightful client experience and keep that client enjoying the value and what we're providing and delivering, so we can move them forward in the sales process. Thinking ahead enables you to see the big picture, anticipate and mitigate weak spots, and incorporate automation and effective tools. It also gives you the ability to stay focused on the client's perspective, right? What do they want, need, or lack? Why does it matter to them? What problem does it solve? What area of concern? What's keeping them up at night? What's those big dreams? What's in it for them, right? You want to frame every step around delivering value that benefits them so they can what? That's what you want to be focused on. Always that client thinking. And when you do this, you avoid the deer in the headlights scenario when you are tossed a curveball or an objection, because you've thought through your process. And we're going to be going over this because one of the exercises we are going to cover in a future episode is to create an objection bank. Really how to anticipate objections and those curveballs, the questions, so you already have the answers and you're ready to go. All of this helps you, I'm going to say it again, think to speak. You've thought it through, you know what to say, and it's a great idea to practice and role play as well, because this will really serve and help you. Now, I would love to take this time now to walk through 2 different scenarios of a communication plan sequence. And we're going to go through every step. So the first one is meeting someone during an in-person or virtual event. So let's get into this. So let's think about the client experience in their journey. They go from that awareness to consideration to decision to champion, right? So then let's look at, from the sales perspective, that's that delivering the worthy intent, coming that you genuinely are interested about them, who they are, what they want, need, or lack, right? That worthy intent. And then cultivating the relationship, consideration, building the rapport so they can make a decision, and then nurturing that client so they become a champion and provide you with raving referrals, which is a title of a book, which is a great book, Raving Referrals. They become raving fans, and they also provide you with raving reviews. All right. That is where we want that journey to go. So here we are, we're at an event. Now this can be a virtual event or an in-person event, and you make an introduction. So this is where you want to have that opening question or how you make that connection. Now I've given you a peek, and one of the tricks that I use is that you can do one of 2 things. You can either follow Jane M. Powers' intromercial, which is brilliant, by the way. Use that and use that format if someone asks you what you do. Another is to ask them, as I like to do, is If you could be anywhere else, where would you be? What would you be doing? And who would you be with? Now, this opens up so many opportunities to move the conversation forward. It demonstrates my worthy intent that I'm genuinely interested about them and I want to hear and learn about them. And from that conversation, there's always common ground. And there's a way to ask, tell me more, and learn more about them and find out some of those things that make them tick, that make them light up. So that's a really great opener. Now, you've made that connection, whether it was in a networking event that you did, whether you met them at an in-person event, just sitting there getting coffee around the coffee table, you ended up being on the same table, wherever that happened to be. Now, the next step is to follow up. You want to connect with them on LinkedIn, send a personal message, remind them about where you met. So the great idea is to already have that planned for that event so that you've already got that ready to go. It's a super simple. It was so great meeting you at the Competitive Edge networking event. I really enjoyed what you had to say about podcasts, platforms, and stages. Let's get connected here. Super simple, right? I reminded them where we met. I said something about what we talked about, and then let's get connected. So there's that connection on LinkedIn. You can also send them an email, something that they mentioned to you, that they talked about, that you feel could deliver value to them. So there's so many things that you have in your asset arsenal. So let's think about what those could be. You could send them a link to a podcast episode where you talked about something specific. You could provide them with an article that you just read that's pertinent to the subject that you were discussing, or something that they're very interested in. You could also send them like, hey, they love to do snowshoeing. And you could say, hey, did you happen to see this event that's being posted on REI for a snowshoeing event, right? So look out for those opportunities, that common ground that you learned from them, or things that they are looking for to support them. It could also be an introduction. I know that you're looking for more podcast stages. Here's an introduction to a host that I think would be a great fit for you, and then provide the host and that individual that warm introduction to each other. There's so many different ways that you can make that connection. Now, you can also do this, of course, in a phone call and pick up the phone. All right. You can call them, thank them for the opportunity to meet with them, that you've sent them an email with an introduction to someone else that you think they would love to be connected with, that makes sense and why. And you're looking forward to furthering the conversation. All right. So you're following up, you're building that worthy intent and that opportunity to move the relationship into cultivation. When you follow up, you want to deliver value, and you want to make sure that whatever it is that you're doing makes sense to them. You can also send a personal note. You can actually handwrite a note and snail mail it. Yes, that still happens, right? Absolutely. I love those Jackie Lawson e-cards. I just recently did that at an event that I met a whole bunch of new people, and I sent everyone an e-card, thanking them for the opportunity to meet with them and to connect, and what an incredible experience it was. And I was looking forward to furthering the conversation, right? And so there's lots of different ways that we can move them now into cultivation. So when we're at that cultivation stage, consideration from the client's perspective, cultivation from the sales perspective, we want to deliver value. All right. And that's that information that benefits them, right? And the information so they can or benefits them by, and you're going to repeat deliver that value. And through those conversations, you really want to trigger that tell me more, and then start to move into qualifying questions and scheduling a time to meet with them and have that opportunity to discuss potentially how you can better serve them. Now, they can either be a prospect, a partner, right? A purchaser, prospect, partner, or they could be a promoter. So when you're having those discussions, you can determine where they lie, right? And then you have those discussions. Now we're really into the rapport and that decision. And we've moved them along that journey. Now, if they're going to move into a journey where we're going to be working with them as a client, as a purchaser, or as a partner, or as a promoter, we're probably going to have some discussions around that. And then there's going to be some items to be delivered. And then we get to move on to nurturing them to become our champion. So that is one great example. And I want to now walk through a second example. And because this is one of my favorites, because it's LinkedIn. All right. And we've all encountered what I call the spam slap in LinkedIn. Someone asks you to connect, and they immediately send you a 3 to 6 paragraph description of their product or service, asking you to book a call with them. Spoiler alert, if you do this to me, you are dead to me. I don't owe you an interaction, and I will not respond ever. You have spent absolutely no energy or effort to create a relationship with me. All right. You've just spam slapped me on LinkedIn. Ugh. Don't do it. Please don't be this person. This is like you've prepared this incredibly beautiful meal. Maybe you went to all the effort to bake lasagna at home with all the layers of sauce, putting that all together. You've made this incredible vegetable that goes with it. You've even put the wonderful garlic bread. It's all ready to go. It's being served on this beautiful plate. And then you just take that plate and you go wham against the wall. That's what you've just done. You've taken all that effort, all that energy, and you just threw it against the wall, and you're going to see if anything sticks. Yeah. Do you really want to work with the stuff that's stuck to the wall? I would much rather take that beautiful meal, my knife and fork, and start eating it bite by bite, right? And enjoy it. That's the difference. That's when you build rapport and you begin a relationship. Okay, so let's walk through doing this on LinkedIn. So some of you may use LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And so if you do, that's a great way to look for people who are in your ideal target market, those people who have the right sort of industry, the right job title, they're in the right space. So this is a great tool to use. Now, once you've identified these people, now you want to work out how are you going to connect with them. There's a number of tracks that you can take. And one track is if they're active on LinkedIn, like they actively post on LinkedIn, is it's to start interacting with their posts. Watch for their posts and like, comment, and share those posts. When you comment, have a real comment about what they said, something that is thought-provoking, or asking them a question. Tag them in the post. Start a conversation with them. People who are active on LinkedIn will notice this activity. And then after several encounters like that, it's normal for you to say, we should just get connected. I love what you've been posting. And it makes sense that let's get connected. Well, they've established somewhat of a relationship with you, right? Because they've seen that you've been liking, commenting, tagging them, and sharing, and perhaps even having this conversation on their posts. So this is a great way to initiate that conversation. So this is a brilliant track to do that. Now, a second opportunity is if they are not as active on LinkedIn, is to look through their profile, go to their company website, look at something that sparks that connection. And why does it matter to them for you two to connect? And this is an honest human to human relationship connection. Tap into that and tell them why you feel that you should connect. And then plan out that sequence of how you're going to build conversation and build rapport with them without spam slapping them. Okay. Don't go there. The idea is that you want to establish that like, know, and trust factor through having an honest human to human discussion. And then you can also use the advantages on LinkedIn of using the phone, right? And the app on the phone to leave them a voice message, to leave them a video message, provide them with introductions to someone that it makes sense to you that they should be introduced to. That would be a valid and great opportunity for them to meet and connect with. This all is working on building that relationship, right? So you're moving from that initial spark into cultivating the relationship. And then from that, then you've earned the right to ask to let's get together and have a meeting and talk, right? So when you go through that sequence of LinkedIn, you've completely avoided the spam slap. And instead, you've actually invested yourself and them in a relationship. Now, once again, that they could become a purchaser, they could be a promoter, or they could be a partner. That's to be determined. And you start that relationship and you have that conversation. And then you determine from there where that's going to go and where that's going to move forward. So that is a great way to plan your communication. All right. So we've walked through a whole bunch today, really taking you through 2 different scenarios of how you want to plan that journey. Now, finishing this out, as you develop that relationship, you're going to have your meeting, right? You're going to potentially move forward to doing a presentation or a strategy session. You're going to move forward to negotiating and following up with them to then drive the decision. You're going to close the deal, the contract, move them forward into your program, whatever that product or service is, they're going to be guided to a decision. You're going to go through whatever that onboarding or delivery process is for you. You're going to continue to nurture and add value because you want them to become a champion who's going to refer you, who's going to write reviews for you, who's going to provide introductions for you, who's going to be a raving fan. And as we go through every episode of Get More Clients, we're going to keep diving into each one of these steps. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. You know, my purpose is for you to get more clients. Bottom line, don't make this harder than it has to be. Sales should be a win-win. And on behalf of the Win-Win Women Network, I have carved out a limited number of time slots to invite you to hop on and ignite your sales call with me to see what's working, not working, and what you would love to have working. I'm going to see how I might further support you in effectively generating more leads, converting more sales, and fulfilling on your promise as a brand and organization. The fastest way to success is to assure people know that they matter. And the best way to make this happen is to build a consistent sales strategy to acquire, convert, and capitalize on every lead. You will find growing your business is easy and lucrative. Today, we learned how to create a delightful client experience journey with process mapping. The key is for you to implement these steps to stop wasting time, energy, and resources. You have the opportunity to jump in and get the support you need for true success. Say yes to you and get on a call with me. I am truly gifted at this, and you deserve a shortcut to your success with the right support. Go to p2q.link/win-win. And that is in our show notes. So I am one click away. You can also connect with me on our website at petite2queen, the digit 2, queen.com. And to stay current on all of our insightful advice, breakthrough advantages, and never miss an episode, sign up for our weekly wisdoms at petite2queen.com. And next week on Get More Clients, we will be discussing how to create a profitable value strategy to get sales. Oh my gosh, you do not want to miss this because we're going to touch on those objections. We're going to touch on those top questions. We're going to go through that, what the client want, needs, or lack in those pain points. So I'm going to see you next week on Get More Clients.